Hello and welcome back to the channel. Still in this glorious forest setting, and I keep just changing up camera angles because nothing really works. I know it's a bit bright behind me today, so you probably can't see me that well. I apologise. Apologies for the slightly suspicious looking sunglasses. Just, you know, need prescription lenses and choices are limited, but it's bright today, so I'm going to keep them on. And people keep shouting. People keep shouting. This is meant to be a quiet campsite. People keep shouting. Every time I get the camera out, someone shouts. Anyway, hopefully you can't hear them and you can hear me okay. Yeah, I'm going to do another beer review. This time, I'm actually in the top of my van. I'm stood in the van, and with the, if you saw my previous video where I did a bit of a van tour, you know, kind of got the pot roof with the zip out bit, which is what you're looking out of now into that, well, just forest basically, and you know, it's showing about the electricity pylon, but it is what it is. And yes, I want to do a quick beer review from in my van, but obviously not going to drive it afterwards. Don't drink and drive. I know vehicles and alcohol, a bit of a contentious subject, but I've got the captain's chair that spun around. The vehicle is effectively non-drivable, so I think that counts. This is now a dwelling with wheels, so I think we're okay. And today's beer is from Northern Monk. It's Don't Mess With Yorkshire Bitter. Now, when I first saw this, I thought it was just called Don't Mess With Yorkshire Bitter, but subsequently they've brought out a rhubarb and custard pale ale into Sainsbury's, I think, which is Don't Mess With Yorkshire rhubarb and custard or something. So anyway, it's a Don't Mess With Yorkshire series. This is the bitter. Big fan of Yorkshire bitter in general, and I have had this already. I had it a week ago. I bought it with the intention of not reviewing it. I bought 2 tins to share with someone. It didn't happen, and so I've got a tin left still, and I thought, you know what, let's give it a crack. So yeah, I know it's good. We can assume that, but I'll give you a proper review of it now. So let's get this open. And just before we do, here's a quick look at the can. A nice proper amber brown bitter, this one. It's not got the best clarity. It's slightly hazy for a bitter, this, although that's not always a bad thing. Let's get this all in. Another questionable pour there by me. Sometimes I nail it and sometimes that happens. It's a solid 3.5 finger. What colour is the head on that? Ever so slightly off-white, but it does look appetising, I have to say, despite this being slightly cloudy. The fact that I'm having to reuse the same beer glass over and over again whilst camping. I am rinsing and washing it between sessions, but it's impossible to get it absolutely spotless. So take that into consideration as well. Aromas. Oh, it's sweet, hoppy, malty. It's just proper beer, this, isn't it? It's really, really just, that is quintessential working men's clubs dark beer, I guess. It's got a sweetness about it. You're definitely getting a lot of the hops. I say the malt is coming through, but there's something else in there. There's something a little bit extra with this one, just a little bit extra. There's such a slight bit of kind of a burnt candied bonfire toffee kind of thing. Really subtle though, just a bit of extra sweet richness in the back. Right, let's get into it. Cheers. Oh, that is delightful. That is really good. Let's just get all of this can into here. There's a good chance with a strong gust of wind that this tin will end up being flown over the top of my van and down below, but for now we'll leave it there. It does have a notable sweetness I think a lot of other bitters don't, and in the taste it's actually slightly fruity. Not enough to discernibly say it's a bit. Actually, no, it is. It's a bit sweet orange. Only a touch, but it's definitely there. Yeah, a super subtle amount of citrus. I think it's some citrus coming through from the hops, citrus flavourings from the hops, rather than any additive. Let's do a quick top to bottom taste test. So, initially, tiny bit bitter, as you would expect from a bitter, and then it's quite sharp, but not overly so, just very traditional for that style. And after that, the sweetness starts to break through, and you start to get a bit of a lick of those sweeter flavours. It's a little bit toffee-ish, it's a little bit citrusy. It's not particularly one or the other, there's just a few balancing elements in there. And then you swallow it, and the finish is quite clean initially. You feel like it's gone, it's actually quite refreshing for a bitter, but then you start to get that a bit of hop flavour just retaining in the mouth, tiny bit of pepperiness almost in the back there as well. It's a little bit of heat. The malts don't shine through in the flavour. They're there. It's not, you know, they definitely are in the mix, but it's not prominent at any point. It's just a solid low down rumble all the way through the taste profile. Right, let's take a quick look at the can. Don't Mess With Yorkshire Bitter, Northern Monk, 4.5%. This is a 440 can. And it says Northern Monk Brew Co, the Old Flax Store, Marshall's Mill, Holbeck, Leeds. And then it says Don't Mess With Yorkshire, don'tmesswithyorkshire.com, and on Instagram at Don't Mess With Yorkshire. Shall we find out what that is? I want to go for the Instagram account. Don't Mess With Yorkshire. I'll give that a follow. What is it? Don't Mess With Yorkshire. It's just a load of stuff, a load of merchandise that just says Don't Mess With Yorkshire. I assume this is something that Northern Monk are doing, or is this another company and it's a collab? There isn't actually anything else on the can, which is rare for Northern Monk stuff, because they normally have quite a lot of detailed information about the brewery and the beer on here. But if you look at the Instagram account here, it's really just, you know, not a lot in particular. There's a few Northern Monk things on there. I assume it's set up by them, but it seems like it's been going since 2016. Who knows? Yeah, it would be interesting to know a bit more. Maybe I'll jump on their website later and find out. But it looks like Don't Mess With Yorkshire might not just be a Northern Monk thing. Maybe it's I suspect, looking at that, it's probably a collab. But anyway, that is all that it says on the can. There is nothing else on there. Let's see if this has changed at all. Getting a little bit what I call fuggy on the nose now. It's not properly dank, it's just a bit of that slightly matured beer, spilt beer pub smell. And on the taste, it's getting a bit grassier actually. Those initially citrus notes are mellowing out a touch. Again, I suspect this is more palate acclimatization than it is the beer actually changing in that short period of time, although it's possible with it being exposed to the air now. But yeah, it's still very well rounded. It's still that solid bitter style, but yeah, there's no denying what were citrus flavors initially are now very grassy notes. So, but still delightful. I kind of think I preferred it when they were citrusy notes, to be honest. But that's not to say it's bad. This is still a cracking beer, and given the opportunity, I'll definitely be buying some more of these. So I think that's everything for this. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already, subscribe if you would be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.